They came in, eradicated the neighborhoods, took everybody down. Because right today, how many rock houses do you know of?
None.
Okay. But how many doctor's offices you know that push lean, Percocets, Oxycodone, Vicodins?
The doctor, today the doctor's the plug.
The doctor's the plug.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray we all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is gonna send you a big.
What's up, Melody Man, Dahoodpostman? Who I'm here with today?
Man, Avalon Blue, what it do, third?
Man, what's going on with you, Blue? Man, Blue, you know what? How did you get the name Blue, man? Because I know it's a succession of blues, right? But maybe you can break that down for us today.
Well, by right, I'm Avalon Blue too, because my big homie, Big Blue, we like brothers, man. He like 4 days older than me. He and right now, he been down since like 96, man. He in Old Folsom. So, you know, he was Avalon Blue. And I was like, man, that's a nice name, man. I like that name. I said, I want to be Blue too. I want that name too. My Uncle Felton, from Businessman, they called him Blue. He was like a blue-black type color dude. So that was my best friend, Uncle Blue. So when I always like wanted to be like him, so when the opportunity to put the name on me, you know what I mean, I jumped on it.
Man, and rightfully so, man. I noticed you got the A hat on, man. You keep the A hat on, man.
Oh, man, I try to keep it popping, man. You know, I guess I'm old school, you know, keep the A's up. Shout out to the Altadena blocks, the Acacia blocks, you know what I'm saying? All the A boys out there, man. Atlanta Drive, to all the A boys out there in the world.
Man, shout out to all the A boys. My first question to you, Blue, what are some of the biggest challenges you face today? Being that you come from a gang perspective, gang member to gang, from gangbanger to gang member to just interventionist. What are some of the biggest challenges you face today?
Really, it's peace. You know, because you know, by me doing intervention work, and I like to say I don't do it for a living, I don't work for the grid. By me doing it as a lifestyle, it seemed like when I try to say peace amongst our people, man, it's like the system got us so brainwashed that we hate ourselves so bad. When I bring up peace, man, it's generally like an insult to people. You know what I mean? So it seemed like people, you know, on the internet glorifying fights and who got stabbed and who was who and who the toughest of the toughest. Just, you know, it's hard as you got older just to see, man, that we can't keep knocking each other down, man, and think we gonna come up. So I think that's kind of the biggest obstacle for myself, man.
What led to you becoming an interventionist, though? It was something that had to happen, something occurred, or something, or you just, maybe you got tired, I don't know.
Well, first, how it started for me, even before I became an interventionist, when I was in Avalon State Prison. And, you know, my homeboy worked in the law library at Avalon, and he was Muslim, my homie Baby Crazy. He gave me a book called The Journey of the Shanghai People. And I was reading through the book, you know how it is, black man, first time a black dude, kid, read a book, he gotta be on the bunk. So that was true for myself at some point. And one of the chapters in the book spoke on brainwashing. propaganda, So I always had an eye for brainwashing. So when later came, my son started playing Pop Warner football for the demos, and my son played football, lead running back, and they had shut down Jefferson High School's football field to remodel it. So I brought the whole football team from Jefferson High School up here to the park. Most of the dudes that for Jeff is kind of from the other side for us, you know what I mean? So once I got them over here, my big homies back near Bull, Capone, my homie Big Wolf, and quite a few others supported my movement, I started looking at people different because I didn't just see certain people as gangbangers. I see them with their kids, and I'm like, if I'm at practice every day with my son, and he here with his son, he can't be half bad.
Right. What do you think that society misunderstands most about gangs and gang members?
I look at
you being an activist now.
I look at this as a tribe. We all came from the South originally. When we settled here in Los Angeles, Avalon, Fire Trade, just the name of the tribe that black people that settled in this area. We was all friends way before the gangbang. We was all with the elementary school together. And we was all, like I say, back before the internet, everybody was outside. So we all knew each other as friends way before the gangbang. But I just think that it is sold more stories. It sold, I look at the media exploited us, man, and got more stories off of us and gave the police to get a bigger budget. I think it was all a sham. And it's my opinion.
Do you think sometime us partnering up with the city or sometimes they bring in police help or whatever? You think on the intervention side, do you see that as a plus, or do you see that somehow as they're backdooring you for become intel, or using that as a way to gain access to information?
Well, it depends if the city itself is playing fair, because it's supposed to be a triangle, meaning the city up top, LAPD over here, intervention over here, and the city is supposed to be the mediator between the two. I think that we really don't need the police in our business.
True.
We don't need them in our business, man, because people that's been doing time will frown upon that and won't seek the help from you. So we can talk to our people ourselves. If we need you for something that we can't do, we'll call you for that. We need some money to do a trip or a space to have a conversation. But besides that, I don't think we need law enforcement. But in politics, people want to be the the same way you see these dudes for Trump that's giving up the Constitution to save their seat. You don't know what a person would do to them to save their spot in the intervention world.
Well, I would say this, Blue, that fake friends, fake associates are like 10 dimes.
Yeah.
They're changed for $1.
They're changed for $1, man.
And we got to be careful of what we bring into the circle, because we know that these individuals only have one goal, and their goal is one mindset, is to eventually
take us down.
Right.
I look at it. It's kind of hard to work on a farm with Farmer John, and if I'm the person raising the pigs on the farm, Farmer John looking at it as a business, I got emotional attachment to these pigs. It's kind of hard for me to see them slaughtered like that, man. You know what I mean? Because we look at the field two different ways. I'm emotionally attached to the streets. So my opinion is, doing intervention work, if I'm a good interventionist and I'm the dude I say I am, I'm not feeding the police shit. Meaning, if you think you can get overtime hours on one of my friends or somebody I know laying under the sheet, and you stand at the yellow tape for 6-7 hours overtime on the blood of my friends or somebody I know, homie, you gonna get 39.5 hours like everybody else to take your punk ass home, but you're not gonna get overtime on the blood of my peoples. But again, it depends on the intervention worker. Some people just receiving a check some of the people, they not in the field, man. They not in the field, man. You know, I live in my community. You know what I mean? I live in my hood, man. So whatever I see, I gotta face.
Right. What are some of the most significant risks? What is the most significant risk you face because of your gang involvement when it comes to that?
As far as doing individual work, or
yes.
What's the risk? It's
because all your homies is not going to see things in terms of the way you see it.
Well, when I first, like I say, for me, Postman, I was the first black dude to do intervention work in my community before I was getting paid for it. By intervention itself, to this day, don't have a commercial or a firm stance on where they stand at. It opened up the door for people to call me a rat, because I wasn't working with the police, even though there's no victim of accusing me of doing anything of that sort. But, you know, I think my biggest risk was reaching out to the rival gangs, man. Because if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. So I had to reach out to the Swanee Flies from Villain, the local Mikes from Villain, you know, certain guys like them, man. Just say, hey, bro, you know, we both want the same thing. I want your kids to make a homeschool the same way as mine. So, you know, I had to go over there and build relationships with the Bloods, man, our rival enemies, man, so we could slow down some of the gun violence. Because if I'm not gonna do that, I'm not really doing nothing but just throwing parties for my own homies, and you know, I don't want to be a fraud.
Do you feel like these programs and resources are really helping young people avoid gangs, or it just kind of putting a Band-Aid over a bullet wound?
I can say a Band-Aid over a bullet wound. I'll just be honest with it, a Band-Aid over a bullet wound, man. Because if you ain't coming with resources and jobs, what are you talking about? You can't take something and don't replace it with nothing else.
In your opinion, what roles do you think poverty and lack play into the opportunity of people involved in the gang culture?
You know, first, you know, I feel when they start taking the trades out of public school when we was kids, it didn't give some of our kids who wasn't book savvy, because again, we field workers. We were slaves. We didn't learn how to read till later in the game. So some of us who field workers and grew up on their hands, they didn't get a chance to get a self-esteem coming through high school to say, you know, I might not be an athlete, or I might don't be an A student, but I know to work with my hands. But once they took their hands craft out of school, it kind of put us on the back burner, man. We didn't get a chance to make the money or to see ourselves in nothing else besides gangbangers, because that was all what was left.
What is the most important thing you think people should know about gang culture?
Well, today is different than it was when I started, when I was doing it. Because we was all neighbors. You know, even though we was gang members, again, we was all outside. Even remember, we had payphones outside. So we knew each other, stand in line at the payphone with our dimes, and everybody standing outside. So it was more family oriented back then when I was growing up. You know, we come to the park, the same homie that you banged with, the same dude that was on your swim team, the same was on your t-ball team. So it's a family thing also. It's a family thing also, where it was when I was growing up.
How do you envision this gang culture 5 or 10 years from now, based on what you're seeing now?
Well, the game has changed, man. Once the gang members start using drugs, man, and you know, dope dealing and gang banging went hand in hand. But once the gang bangers start getting high, sipping on lean and popping pills and whatever they doing, it kind of watered us down to a certain degree, to where homies just sell the homies drugs. You know, it made them feed on themselves. Me personally, I think it's time to get back to the Black Panthers way of doing things, man. Get more organized and structured, man, and more being loving ourselves, man, and say, you know, man, we can't win if we keep tearing each other down.
The government did a very slick thing there in the 80s. And you know, we did what we had to do to survive and maintain our households and pay our bills, right? Then they came in and they started building what is known as the prison industrial complex. They was revving up for what was to come. Because a megaton of cocaine had dropped in Los Angeles and everybody was getting money and everybody felt like the money would never end. And what they did was they watched it. But what it really was a social study. And you can add to it when I finish. They came in, eradicated the neighborhoods, took everybody down. Because right today, how many rock houses do you know of?
None.
Okay. But how many doctor's offices you know that push lean, Percocets, Oxycontin, Vicodins?
The doctor, today the doctor's the plug.
This doctor is the plug.
I don't not cut y'all, man. You know, I was telling my homeboy that I said, man, I remember you could name 10 high rollers. When we was a kid, you could name 10 Cookie, the Ozone, White Enterprise, you know, dudes who had money, Big U and them who had money.
Third World and all.
Now you can't name not one black dude who got the sack.
No.
Because before, you know how I look at it, when I look at it, when I started paying attention to it, it's like you gotta get your drugs from the pharmacist, who gotta get a script from the doctor. The doctor is the plug now.
It's legal too.
It's legal too.
With that being said, Professor Melly Mel, Avalon Blue, lock the door.
Lock the door.
Lock it.
Cali finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga. Streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top. Diamond Cartier. That nigga